Hello, welcome back to my channel, Aaron Books, and today I'm gonna talk about um, one of my favorite book series of all time, which is The Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. And basically, in this series, there is these people who um, their job is to kill demons, and um, like in the series, um, one of our main characters from the first series is Clary Frey, and she finds out on her 18th birthday that she's a part of these supernatural people that are Shadowhunters, because her mom tells her that her life's gonna change forever. And the reason I love the series so much is because actually I first heard about it because I watched like a clip of the City of Bones movie, which is the movie adaptation of the series. And then I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And then I also found out the same year that my teacher was reading the last book in the series. So, and I was young at the time, so I wasn't allowed to read that kind of stuff yet. So I waited like a year, and then I started reading City of Bones, which is the first book in the Mortal Instruments, and it was pretty interesting. I love like the character dynamics and just the main cast of characters, like the relationship with each other, like how they bond with each other over time is just so good. And one of my favorite characters is Alec Lightwood, and um, he actually is gay and in love with Magnus Bane, who's a warlock, and um, he also ends up becoming like the head of the Institute, which is where they work at, and some of them actually live there. And then there's Izzy Lightwood, which is Alec's sister, and then there's Jace Herondale or Jace Wayland, who is Alec's adoptive brother. And then there's Simon Lewis, who's a vampire, and he ends up becoming a daywalker and then a vampire. And then like there's Luke, who's a werewolf, and he's the leader of a pack. And there's a lot of good action and a lot of good romance in it. even though Jace in like the first like 3 books, or he's an ass for most of them, and he's annoying to his family and shit, but it's still a pretty good series, and the Chronicles still aren't done yet. We still have the Wicked Powers to come out, which comes out starting in 2026, and then we have the last book of the Eldest Curses, which is a trilogy taking place like in different parts of the timeline of the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and it's about Magnus and Alec and their adventures in their life and stuff. And then we have 3 novellas collections so far. We have the Bane Chronicles, which is about the warlock Magnus Bane, and then we have the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, which is about the story of a Shadowhunter going to the academy and ascending to become a Shadowhunter for the very first time. Then we have Ghost of the Shadow Market, which is 10 novellas about that takes place in the Downworld marketplace, and it's about Brother Zachariah. And then we have The Infernal Devices, which is a prequel to the Mortal Instruments, taking place in 1878, following Tessa Gray and Will Herondale in London. And then we have The Dark Artifices, which takes place in 2012 after the Mortal Instruments, and it takes place in Los Angeles. And then The Wicked Powers will take place after the end of Queen of Air and Darkness. And we don't know when the Black Volume of the Dead is going to take. We know it's going to take place during the Wicked Powers, but we still don't know when that is going to be released, and it's the last book in the Eldest Curses. And all these books are by Cassandra Clare. And also, one of my other favorite series is Harry Potter, even though it's just because I grew up with Harry Potter, and I've been watching the movies and reading the books ever since I was little, and I'm just a huge fan, and I love like the magic system and stuff, and I love the characters. I just don't support the author because of her views, and she's done a lot of bad things that I don't agree with, but that's why I try not to give too much money to her, because I feel like she doesn't deserve it, like she doesn't deserve my money. But also I like reading Rick Riordan's books, which is the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and the Heroes of Olympus, and Magnus Chase. But also, I love Twilight, and the first time I read Twilight was like back in like 2012, and I was pretty young, but I've seen the movies first before I read the books, and I loved the movies, and the cast was pretty good. Like, I think they all did a good job. And one of my favorite graphic novel series is Heartstopper, and I also like the TV series of it, and that's on Netflix, and I'm so excited for the 6th volume to come out next year, hopefully. And but I'm so sad it's gonna be the end. But hopefully, Alice Oseman wraps it up in a good way. And the other graphic novel series I want to start at some point is the Husband and Husband graphic novels by Jonathan Ferreira and Aaron Ferreira. And they run the channel Husband and Husband on YouTube. And I already read Jonathan's like paranormal adult series that he writes. The first one is Ghost of Buxton Manor. Hold up, I could show you. And this is his first book in the series, The Ghost of Buxton Manor. And it's about, each one is like an LGBT retelling of fairy tales. And this one is a retelling of Peter Pan. And then the sequel is a retelling of Frankenstein. And I don't know what the third one's a retelling of. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my TBR. But this book basically is about this ghost who is his name is Rupert, and he is starting to like fall in love with the new boy who moves into the manor, because he's been there for like 500 years since he's died. And the boy who moves in is named Aaron, and they start to like fall in love with each other, and then he ends up getting resurrected and coming back, and then they go on to live their life with each other and stuff. And it just tells the story of how he died, and like their relationship and them bonding and spending time with each other and everything. And I really enjoyed it. It's a super quick read. It's not too big. I really could read it, and like took me like 4 hours. And like when I'm in a bad mood or like super down or sad, I would either read maybe this or Heartstopper just to put me in that world, because it just makes me so happy on the inside. And also I get a lot of my books on this book app called Everend, which is a book subscription app you can pay for every month. It's $11.99 a month subscription, and you get access to thousands of audiobooks and ebooks and podcasts and magazines and all this cool stuff. And on there, I read the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas, and right now I'm still currently I'm making my way through A Court of Silver Flames. and it's taken me a while because it is a pretty big book. It's like 30 hours, and it's just taking me time, but I love ACOTAR. It's so good. I just love the main characters, and there's a lot of fighting and action, but also I read a lot of like LGBT romance on there. There's this one series I read which was like a gay fiction series, and it was about like werewolves, like gay werewolves, and it was literally pretty steamy. And I was listening to an audiobook, and literally it just made me laugh because I literally felt like I was watching like reading about an adult film. It was pretty funny, but the romance in it is pretty good. And there was 7 books. It is actually, hold up, it is called, this is my iPad. Is my iPad dead? Hold on. Oh, bitch, yes it is. My iPad's dead. Lovely. It was like Blood of, like the pack, like Blood of the Pack, or something like that. I don't know. By Onley James. And it was pretty good. I also read Alice Oseman's other books on there called Loveless and honestly Nick and Charlie and Solitaire, which Solitaire, the main character is Tori Spring, which is Charlie's sister, and then you have some other characters from the Heartstopper universe, and it has the Heartstopper universe. Literally, it has a lot of representation for the eating disorder community and like mental illnesses and depression and OCD, and also like trans and non-binary. But also I'm so excited for Adam Cervera's new book. They Both Died in book 3, which was supposed to come out like last month, but he is still working on it currently, even though the original publication date was like last month. But now it's probably not going to be released until next year because he's still doing, he got caught up and stuff. And if you follow Adam Cervera on Instagram, you probably already know that. And he also wrote the Infinity Cycle, which is Infinity Sun and Infinity Reaper and Infinity Kings. And he also wrote More Happy Than Not and History Is All You Left Me. And his books are all own voices, which means if you are in the book community, you already know what that means. But if you don't, it means that he represents, because he is gay, he's an openly gay man, and most of his characters in his books are from the LGBT community. But also, one of the other books I read end of last like year was The Black Flamingo, which is about a black Latino gay man who gets involved in drag, and his drag name is The Black Flamingo. And that book was pretty good. It is also written in verse, so you can get through it pretty quick. And Michael's personality is pretty good, and you learn a lot about the drag community, like the culture and the history and stuff, and it's honestly pretty good, and I liked it. And I originally heard about the Black Flamingo from a booktuber I watch. I'll link her channel down below. Is Emma Books here on YouTube, and I originally saw her video, or heard her talk about the book in her LGBTQ favorites video, and also she mentioned it in her 24-hour reading vlog she did, and also another book that she recommended was An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, which is basically about about these aliens, which are like the Carls and April and like her friends. They are the first one to like discover them, and they film it, and then they get like famous for that or whatever. And so basically the whole book is about them like figuring out why the Carls are there and like what they're doing there and what's their purpose. But yeah, those are a few of like some of my favorite books that I like to read, and also like some of my favorite games I like to play as well is Fortnite and Call of Duty and The Sims, Disney Dreamlight Valley, and Overwatch and Rocket League. But I also, some of my favorite artists that I listen to is Taylor Swift and Beyonce and Miley Cyrus and Billie Eilish and Todrick Hall and Olivia Rodrigo and a lot of the female pop stars. And so yeah, I guess that's all I'm gonna talk about today. That's just a little bit more about me and about some of my favorite books and like games and music and stuff, and like what I like to listen, like what I enjoy. And comment down below what your favorite book is, or if you play video games, like what's your favorite video game, and who is one of your favorite music artists. So give this video a thumbs up and comment down below and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later. Peace.